Illinois Watchdog Radio, keeping an eye on government and telling you the truth.
Just don't turn it up too loud. Sometimes with the way that I pause when I speak, people will turn up and then I come back, and sometimes I yell, and I don't want to hurt your hearing. No yelling, at least not yet. I'm not ready to yell yet. Maybe about an hour from now, when we talk about Amtrak thinking that failure has earned them $3.2 billion more of your money. Maybe then I'll start to yell, but certainly not now. I'm Benjamin Yount. This is Illinois Watchdog Radio. Thank you so much for taking some time joining us. Whether you've got us on your radio or you have found us at our home for the live stream online, you can watch as we do Illinois Watchdog Radio. You'll find us always at Illinois Review. Check them out, IllinoisReview.com. Before the break, we spoke. I shared with you the conversation that I had late last week, Friday afternoon, with Kathy Michael, the McLean County clerk. She's in charge of elections in McLean County. And she is uncomfortable with the new order on absentee ballots from Illinois Attorney General Lisa Madigan. Michael says, first of all, we're going to be late. And B, this could lead to fraud. And lastly, this all just smells of lawsuits and perhaps turning Illinois 2014 into what Florida was in 2000. Joining us now on Illinois Watchdog Radio to answer some of these questions, Illinois Republican Party Chairman Tim Schneider. And Chairman, thanks so much for taking some time joining us here on the Big Show.
Hey, really pleased to be with you, Benjamin.
All right, talk to me. Tell me there's a game plan. Tell me that the party has sat down and has somebody looking 3-5 steps ahead, and that we are ahead of these best case questions, worst case shenanigans.
Well, I can't open up the entire playbook for you, Benjamin, but I will tell you that we have an unprecedented number of election judges and poll watchers and attorneys working Election Day for this election. You know, Illinois is a state that's known for vote early, vote often, and the state is graveyards in this state are more synonymous with Election Day than they are Halloween. And that's just a reality here in Illinois. So we have an unprecedented effort with election judges, with poll watchers, and with lawyers on Election Day, and a tremendous number of volunteers that want to turn the state around and end the failed policies and broken promises of the Quinn administration. But we have seen a number of voting irregularities already that are alarming on going on right now before Election Day in the early voting. And that's very alarming because we only lost the state of Illinois in the governor's race last time by just under 4 votes per precinct. And with these irregularities that we're seeing, it's very troubling, at the very least.
This is, I have been saying this for a month or more. I think this is single-digit, maybe double-digit, 10,000, 20,000 votes. I mean, this could be one of the closest races, certainly, that I've ever seen, if not the entire state. Let me ask you this question this way, though, Chairman. What concerns you about the way the ballots are being tabulated, the way that absentee ballots are being handled, these voting irregularities, these calibration errors that apparently just one machine in just one precinct, there's nothing to worry about, nothing to see here, just one machine, Chairman, just one machine was turning Republican votes to Democratic votes.
Well, again, Benjamin, that's enough to turn the election around. This is going to be a very, very close election. So I've been told by the general counsel for the party that these calibration errors do occur. And that's really unfortunate with the millions and millions of dollars that we spend as taxpayers on these voting machines. That's an awful, awful thing. So I would just remind everybody out there is to either vote with a paper ballot or when you vote with a touchscreen, that you really need to make sure that the person you voted for is the person that's recorded on that touchscreen. We had an individual, Jim Moynihan, our GOP candidate for the State House, out in Schaumburg, actually tried to vote for himself and it recorded a vote for his opponent instead, and he went that way all the way down the ballot. That's very, very alarming. So we have to make sure everyone has to be sure that when they vote, they're voting for the person that they touch the screen to vote for or take a paper ballot. Now, I did a robocall just yesterday, and even though people don't like robocalls necessarily, we had to let the people of the state of Illinois understand that if they see anything like this, any suspicious activity, I want them to call a hotline number, the state party number, at 312-201-9000. It's 312-201-9000. If they see anything, please call our number or email us at tips, T-I-P-S, at ilgop.org. We need to know if there's these irregularities because, as you said, this is going to be an incredibly close election, and we can't let this election be taken away from us.
It's like traveling by train or in the airport. If you see something, say something. He's Illinois Republican Party Chairman Tim Schneider. He's our guest here on Illinois Watchdog Radio. We're looking ahead to Election Day. There are questions. Election officials not 100% sure as to what's going on. And Chairman, I'm going to play you some sound bites from Kathy Michael. We heard more of the conversation just before the break, but I want to share with you some of the things that she said, and I want to get your reaction. This first one, I want you. I asked her how this ends. What's the end game here? Does Illinois become Florida? And this is what she said.
Well, I think you make a good point. To me, and I'm no expert, but doesn't it look like everybody's setting up for possible lawsuits after the election if it's a super, super tight race?
Yeah.
I don't know what good that would do, but I think you might be looking at recounts and, this authority didn't do this right, and we object to these votes and things like that. So that's what I think is people are just kind of getting set up for that.
Let me ask it this way. Is the Republican Party setting up? Have there been conversations about possible lawsuits, recounts, taking Illinois? Because if this is close and there are questions about the process, is that what we can expect as the end?
Well, certainly, Benjamin, we're not going to let this election be taken away from us due to fraud. Okay, that's something the state party will not allow. So we're going to do everything we possibly can to get every vote counted in a proper manner. So if there are cases where, and this is what's really troubling to me, is where we have individual county clerks that are tabulating absentee ballots currently without our poll watchers being able to watch those votes be tabulated. That is really alarming. So we have taken legal action in Rock Island County and a couple other counties that said, wait a minute. First of all, the Attorney General has said that you're not supposed to be doing this until Election Day. And secondly, even if you are, why aren't you allowing our poll watchers to watch you tabulate these votes? It flies in the face of scrutiny and wanting to say, well, if you don't let our poll watchers watch, you must be doing something wrong. So yes, there might be not an opportunity, but a need for us to file some type of suit. Now, I'm hoping that the voters of Illinois understand that the failed policies and the broken promises and the jobs that are leaving the state and the companies that are leaving the state are going to suggest to them that we vote for change in this election, and I'm hoping that it won't be as close as it might be, and we wouldn't have to do these things. But it may come down to that, and if that's a need, and that's something we have to do, the Republican Party is prepared to do that.
I have said this. We're talking with Illinois Republican Party Chairman Tim Schneider here on Illinois Watchdog Radio. I have said this since I first started talking about the Schaumburg Library vote and Moynihan and changing Republican votes to Democrats. Our election apparatus, all of this, the entire republic is based on faith in our elections, that the vote that I cast is the vote that is counted. I asked that question. I just want to share one more thing from Kathy Michael with you, Chairman. I asked her that question. I said, I'm starting to sense that there are people who may not trust the process, and I think that is extremely dangerous. And this is her response.
I could see where fraud can happen if you pay somebody off in an election office, God forbid, and have them open those ballots, absentee ballots, unsupervised, see how the vote's going between, let's just say, Rauner and Quinn, and Quinn's leading in a certain precinct by a large margin. If you're really unscrupulous, you could tabulate those yourself with no one around, call a certain campaign, and say, hey, you're way behind in normal whatever, you might want to make some phone calls. That's where that fraud could come in.
Is she making too much of a fear of fraud, or is that a legitimate concern given the differences in standards from county to county to county, and we know that this is going to be one of the closest elections in state history?
Well, certainly, it's an absolutely real concern, and that's why it's imperative that we have our poll watchers there to watch these votes be tabulated. We need to show that this is completely honest, this is completely transparent. That's all Republicans want. They want honest, fair, and transparent elections. And if we can produce that, these clerks need to allow our poll watchers, which, as I said, we have an unprecedented number of poll watchers and new election judges. We have people at all these precincts, and we are asking them to allow us to just watch the process. That's all we want. We're not going to get involved. We just want to watch and make sure it's done transparently. And as long as we can do that, that's fine. Where it isn't, we're going to file suit, and we're going to try to stop the process until that individual decides to follow the law.
Illinois Republican Party Chairman Tim Schneider, our guest here on Illinois Watchdog Radio. Chairman, we're getting close to the break. I don't believe that we're going to know who our governor is when we go to bed. It's 14 days after Election Day before all of the ballots would be counted. Let me ask it to you this way. When do you expect that we will know who our next governor is going to be?
Well, if the voters understand what has happened under the leadership or lack thereof of Pat Quinn as our governor, we'll know on Tuesday night. If the special interests are able to take control of this election and we don't get our Republican voters out to vote, it may be a very, very long time. Now, I would just like your listeners to even if they have never volunteered before, this is the time to get involved. Please get involved. Go to our website, www.onerepublican.gop, O-N-E, republican.gop. Even if you've never volunteered before, this is the time to step up and volunteer and be part of the process. We really need you. Let's not make this close on Election Day. Let's vote for change in Illinois. Let's vote for a new direction. Let's vote for a better life for ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren, and elect Bruce Rauner governor of Illinois and change the direction of Illinois. And let's not make this close on Election Day.
So you're going to be in the city, obviously. Rauner's going to be downtown Chicago. We just got the note about where he's going to be for election night. I'm going to be down here, sort of anchoring Illinois Watchdog Radio. I'm sure we'll check in with you. But what are you doing after the election? I'm going on a cruise over Thanksgiving. I'm doing a Caribbean cruise because this has been a very busy season. Have you even allowed yourself to think about November 6th, 7th, 8th, the days after the election?
I'll tell you, I don't know how many people have asked me that, but I am so busy right now in trying to see this sea change in Illinois and build a better state for the people of Illinois that I haven't even thought about the day after the election. All I want to have is a big smile on my face that said that we did everything we could, the people of Illinois voted for change, and that we're going in a new direction. And that'll be enough of a vacation for me all in itself.
Well, I voted early last week down here in Logan County, and I think that I was voter 220 or something in my precinct. So there seems to be an interest. There seem to be a lot of people turning out to vote. I think this is going to be the closest election, certainly that I've been involved with for governor. I keep remembering going to a donut shop in Springfield in November of 2000 and trying to get people on the street and saying, "Hey, did you realize we don't know who the president is?" They were shocked. That just keeps playing in my head. I think that's what our November 5th is going to be here in Illinois.
Well, we needed, again, Benjamin, my last message to you and your listeners is to just take the time, get out and vote. And if you can early vote, that's great. Request an absentee or mail-in ballot. Let's get it done. Let's don't take a chance that you might not be able to get out on Election Day. Let's record your vote. Early vote. The integrity of early voting is hopefully quite good. We want you out there. We want to record your vote. You won't be harassed on Election Day if you do. So because we're going to do everything we possibly can to be watching the polling places to ensure that our voters get out to vote. If we haven't seen you get out to vote, you're likely going to get a call, and we're going to ask you to get out and vote on Election Day. So please do. Let's change the course of Illinois, change direction, shake up Springfield. Let's bring back Illinois.
If you don't vote, you can't complain. Illinois Republican Party Chairman Tim Schneider. Chairman, thanks so much for taking some time joining us here. We got to go. We got to get to the break. More Illinois Watchdog Radio coming up.
Pleasure.
Don't just sit there. Join the conversation. Text Illinois Watchdog Radio at 217-215-2007.